Hey, how's it going, guys? My name is Jackie Fish and welcome to Total War Elysium. Total War Elysium is Total War's version of a CCG, a trading card game basically, and in Total War Elysium you go ahead and pick from commanders throughout history and you basically build a deck using timeless cards that you can use in any deck across history and historical period specific cards. So for example, if you're going to play someone like Napoleon, you can pick from a set of timeless cards as well as Empire period cards. So you'll be taking musketmen and other stuff like that with your Empire cards, and then you will go ahead and have a pick from a bunch of other cards that any general has access to. You're able to pick from a ton of different eras and generals. I believe currently in this closed beta, which we're playing in, you can pick from, I believe, the Viking era, you can pick from the Empire era, and you can pick from the, there's one more, and the Chinese, so the Three Kingdoms era of battles. I believe at the moment as well there are also Roman cards in there for the ancient period, and there could be something else, maybe like a medieval period that's in, but there aren't currently any generals available to play at the moment. So the whole idea of the game is that you pick a historical general from a certain period, you then build a deck from the cards from that period of history, as well as a selection of just generic cards that you can pick at any time period, and then you do battle with these other historical figures. It's a really cool concept. I kind of wish they would take this concept and actually take it into a proper Total War game. F in the chat for Total War Arena. And you know, like, because it's such a cool concept, right? Battling from all these deadliest warriors throughout history. So it'll be interesting to see how this game does develop, and I do have to obviously mention the game is in closed beta. I think it's only available to a handful of countries at the moment. Obviously, as the game gets more and more developed, they'll add it into more stuff, and I do imagine that this type of game is a game that could change dramatically from this point out. Generally, when I say that, oh, this game could change, when I'm talking about like Total War Troy, generally it's probably not going to change. You know, for the most part, they're going to keep the development and the ethos of the game pretty locked down whenever I get that. But a game like this, which is going to constantly evolve, definitely could change and take, you know, 360s, and you know, it'll be interesting to see where this game does go, as it does have quite a few possibilities, that is for sure. So what we're going to do today is we're going to jump into a couple of matches against the AI and take a look at kind of, you know, what stuff you can do in Total War Elysium. Is it going to be different enough from other card games on the internet, you know, like Magic the Gathering, Hearthstone, and stuff like that? Is it going to find a niche, or is it just kind of be saturated and kind of just fall away? We'll have to see. So, I'm going to be playing as Antoinette. This is a pretty interesting build I've gone ahead and picked up. She's a very interesting general, as she goes ahead and basically is pretty useless at the start of the game. The first turns, she doesn't really do much. You can play cards to try and protect her. However, when units start to die around her, she slowly gets a reduction in cost of this major general card. All generals have this signature card that they can apply, and each one is different, which again kind of adds a bit more flavor to each of the generals and kind of makes you think that they're more about a certain era than just kind of like a random general. It's kind of like the hero power in Hearthstone is a good way to compile it. And basically every time Marie Antoinette loses a character, this card on the right hand side becomes super cheap. It reduces it by 1, so if you end up losing 5 units, it will be, you know, only 4 cost, and then when you play this, she transforms, she lets them eat cake, and she becomes the revolutionary mob, and yeah, that's when things really start to heat up. So let's go ahead and dive into the start of the game. So we'll just go ahead and find an enemy opponent. Again, we'll play from a handful of different generals that are currently in the game, and as I said, I believe they are planning on adding in the medieval era with some English knights and stuff, because there are a handful of units in the timeless section that you can see that are, you know, medieval based and kind of represent a lot of English units. You also have a lot of Roman and ancient units, so I'm sure, you know, when this comes out of closed beta, we'll probably have, you know, like, you know, Henry VII maybe. We might even have, you know, obviously Julius Caesar is an obvious one they'll probably add in. So there's so many generals and stuff they can do, and really create some interesting and fun builds. I think, you know, with all the different generals. As I said, my little gripe is that I just wish that they would, you know, would do this for a proper Total War game. It'd just be so goddamn cool, but yeah. So we are coming up against Napoleon, so you're going to find kind of two very, not similar decks, but two similar decks when it comes to the same era. We will play another match after this as well, and hopefully we'll get like Lagerfur or one of the Vikings, because they have a very interesting concept. So the gameplay of Total War Elysium is split up into several turns. So every single time, basically every day, which is I believe the space of 3 to 4 turns, depending if you go for first or second, you pick yourself 9 cards to kind of go into your deck from a deck of 18 cards. So as Marie Antoinette, I want to go ahead and basically take all the cheap ones because I want my units to die. When my units die, my main hero ability, the whole thing that my character's about, basically gets cheaper. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up cards that are really cheap, which I can just throw away. I also want to go ahead and pick up cards that will allow me to do plans, and we'll get onto plans in a little bit. It's also a good idea to pick up these cards up early because the sooner you pick them up, the sooner you get that plan ability. So as I said, the way that turns work is you take your turns throughout the day, which is split up into 3 to 4 turns. As you can see, day 1. And at the end of this day, so as this counter goes down, and when we hit the final day, or the final period of that day, we'll basically do what we just did. Again, we'll pick another set of 9 cards from our deck of 18 to go ahead and pick up. Because all the 9 cards I picked up went into this, like, kind of my draw pile on the right-hand side. So, obviously, in the early game, I'm going to pick cards that are cheap, which I can play, and cards that I can prepare for the future. Because a card that has the plan ability allows me to... I actually need to play something really quickly as well. Let's do that. Let's play the supply. And let's go ahead and get a supply wagon out. So cards that have the plan ability goes ahead, and after the day has gone, so after we've both done 3 to 4 turns, depending on if we've won first or second, you basically go ahead and get a special ability. So if I have this card in my hand at the end of this day, all my peasants will gain +1/+1, which is going to be amazing because once we transfer to the revolutionary mob, we deploy peasants at the end of every single turn. It becomes really good. So you can also see that you can use your hero very aggressively. You can stick them on the front line and let them get stuck in, which is absolutely amazing. You can kind of play a unit very aggressively. That's generally what you do at the beginning, as you have this bar in the center right here. If you have any units on your front row, because you have just basically 2 rows to mess around with, if you have any units on your front line, you go ahead and prevent units from attacking your back line. So right now, this supply train is completely safe because I have a peasant up front, and so is his unit back there. There are abilities like long range and short range, and other abilities that can get through this. But for now, that's exactly what we want to do. So I'm going to go ahead and play this this plan right here. So this character is a enrager. Basically, whenever she moves, which is the movement thing. So whenever she moves, she goes ahead and spawns a peasant. And if I have her planned, so obviously at the end of day 1 or day 2, she gets that ability as well as to spawn a peasant. So I'm going to put Marie Antoinette on the front lines right now because I really want to protect this supply wagon, because whenever I draw a card, I gain an extra supply, and this is basically your mana. You spend this to gain more. And I'm going to go ahead and, get a damage in on Napoleon. It's going to make it so that this card is a little bit cheaper, and he was just going to shoot me anyway with his short-range artillery. Range units don't go ahead and take any counter-attack damage. They're kind of just able to hit your opponent at a distance. And you can see Napoleon is all about this artillery. He's got one which is short range, so this will be able to shoot my back ranks after it's moved. You can't obviously move and shoot or move and attack. And then we also have this longer range artillery piece that can shoot over an extra slot. So this can shoot basically the entire map, which is pretty crazy. So I'm going to go ahead and move my enranger up, which is going to be great because it's going to go and spawn another peasant. And that's all going to help out this ability right here. We can also deploy some citizens. Or we could wait. I think what we're going to do is we are going to deploy this. Actually, I maybe messed. No, it's free, so I'm good. So this card allows me to deploy 3 citizens, which is great for Marie Antoinette because that's exactly what we're trying to do. We're trying to just get units to die. I don't really care about these units, so I'm just going to spawn them, and Napoleon has to deal with them, right? If Napoleon doesn't kill these, then they're going to do some serious damage to him anyway. And we can probably bring Marie Antoinette back as well, just for a turn as well. We'll leave our supply wagon. So not only does this, force Napoleon to have to kill my units, it also allows me to keep this supply train pretty well defended. We only have 3 cards left in the deck, which is pretty, fun as well, because it basically means that, so yeah, he can just deal with that. Obviously a smart idea, but it makes my stuff a little bit cheaper as well. So you can see there's only 3 cards left in my deck. We'll then go, day 1 has now finished, and we'll now pick more cards. So obviously here, I'm going to want to pick more cards that are maybe a little bit more developed. I'm going to get my Marie Antoinette stuff off probably in the next couple turns, because it's already down to like 8, I think, cost. which is good. So I basically just want to take cards that can help me clear his big stuff, as well as give me more supply and buff up my peasants. That's exactly what all of my units are. So we'll do that, and we'll take some clear as well. So you guys can really start to see the kind of build of my units and this deck. You know, it's basically here to die. Again, we'll probably just dive into Napoleon. We'll bring this person back as well, so we can spawn another peasant that we can then bring up next turn. Boom, boom, boom. And we have some guns to shoot as well. So as you can see, these guys are short range, so they can fire over a column. So I could leave them on my back rank and shoot into his front rank, or I could just leave him on my front rank and shoot his back rank. And obviously, as you can see, there's no counter ability right there. So again, you know, if Napoleon doesn't want to deal with this, I can just shoot all day long and hit his back rank and clear his artillery, which is really important. We also now have the Polish Legion, who has his planned ability. So he gives peasants +1/+1. We don't want to use that quite yet. We also could do some interesting stuff as well, which is actually what I'm going to do. I'm going to play this. It's going to kill my own units, but it's going to allow us to play our revolutionary card. So boom, just like that, we lost 5 units, or 4 units, and now we can play this right here. And it's going to turn Marie Antoinette over to the revolutionary mob. They have taken over, Viva la Revolution, and we can now stick her on the front line. So you can just see the strength of this deck and the stuff you can do. So now every turn, we're going to go ahead and spawn 2 peasants, and we get a new signature card as well called Armed Mob. As you can see, a lot of this stuff, you know, card details and the animations and stuff are probably going to change pretty heavily as the game gets more and more developed. But yeah, you can see when it's our turn and we get access to this card. So you can see that every turn we'll get this for 2 costs, 2 mana, 2 supply. We randomly give 3 units, splash, short range, and +1 attack, or +1 attack. So one of those. So it's just really strong and basically something we want to be using every single turn. So we'll go ahead and we'll put our first peasant up there. We'll play this ability. So we got range on all of them, which isn't the worst in the world because it means that we can attack and not have to worry about being attacked back. Do we really care about this officer? Whenever a friendly artillery unit attacks, we have to add a round shot. Probably not, right? So let's just, we'll put 1 attack into him so we can kill him at some point. The rest will just go into Napoleon himself, and we'll start whittling down his HP. We'll also play this. I probably should have played this first, right? Because we can see if we get any good cards. Yeah, maybe it would have been a good idea to play that supply wagon instead of maybe our armored mob, but maybe not, actually. I don't know. You can also see that Napoleon has popped off, so we get 2 more peasants as well. It's just a disgusting deck, it really is. It's like, if you can clear it, it's good, but it just comes back every single turn. You really just have to rush Marie Antoinette down, because like, look at this, right? That's going to completely wreck me. But next turn, the mob spawns again, and we go again. You can see that Napoleon has also played a structure as well. Structures can't attack or move, but they just basically act as a defensive wall. You know, 8 is quite a lot to get through. Something we're going to have to work on. So we'll pop down the supply wagon right there. We'll pop down the 2/2 swordsman, which is nice. And I guess we can pop down the pikeman? No, because I might as well just pop this. We'll give this +1 attack. That's not bad. And we also gave the swordsman +1 attack, which is kind of nice. So we'll continue to work up. We've got 1 more round until daybreak comes off, which is good because we want to kind of set ourselves up so we have a lot of peasants so we can play this Polish Legion and just make our peasants disgusting, you know. That's our goal. So Napoleon's trying to draw another plan card to help him out. I mean, that's a really good card to draw. Really good card to draw. Because it floods the board. Unfortunately, obviously, yes, he has like summoning sickness, so we can't just spawn it right away. We can't attack with him right away. But still a really good card. Oh, interesting. Deploy 2 peasants. That's kind of good. So, yeah, this is the turn, right? This is the turn we go hard. So, what we want to do. So, we want to attack first. Yeah, attack first. We want to deploy this. Yeah, we don't have enough room here. I think this is 6 to a line. So, we need to get rid of a card to do what I want to do. We also kill everything in his back line, which is huge. I want to do this. So, that should push up to 5 on the line. And then pop the Polish Legion. Oh, okay. We can actually pop this Polish Legion on the back ranks if we wanted to. Which is probably what we want to do, actually. Yeah. So I didn't actually have to kill that guy. Because it gives all of these +2. We can't pop this bonus, but we don't need to. Then let's just take down the wall. And what we're going to do is we're going to pop Napoleon's Last Grass. So Last Grass is basically a a invulnerable shield that pops off when you go to 6 HP. No matter what happens, if you're on 7 and you take 20 damage, you'll always just stop at 6. It's kind of like your last chance. And you'll basically go down to 6 HP. You can't take any more damage and go below 6 for that first turn that you're there. And you'll draw 2 cards. Kind of like you have a chance if you maybe, like, you know, get out of this. So what we'll do is we'll stick him down to 6. Again, he can only go down to 6. He'll draw 2 more cards, which is fine with me as the turn is about to end. We don't have any more plan cards, and we're fine like that. So again, we'll spawn 2 more peasants. So you can just see the strength of this deck, you know. The goal is you just have to burst Mary Antoinette down and try and get her low enough that you can just take her down before all of her spawns. And once again, we'll just pick all the kind of high-ranking damage spells, the stuff that buffs our other men, like adjacent units right there. We want that. We want Discipline, give all friendly units +1 actions, which is huge. You know, able to do 2 things, which is great. We'll take this, we'll take more of a supply wagon so we can play more cards. And as I said, just more AoE clear is what we want, because we don't really need any strong units right now, because we have all of the peasants. So let's see if Napoleon can do some stuff. Yeah, he doesn't look like he's got anything that can stop us right now. Caltrop is a pretty interesting spell, because whenever the enemy flanks, so you can see right now the AI is basically trying to protect Napoleon by putting everything on his front line. It's not really going to help him. But yes, this is a pretty interesting ability. Whenever an enemy unit flank attacks, this deals 1 damage to it, and it stuns it, I believe, as well. Flanking is something that I don't have in my deck, but basically it allows you to bypass the first rank, kind of like range. You basically just, you know, use a cavalry unit, and it's mainly on cavalry, and you just go around and attack the back rank. So if I had anything like that, I could then attack the back rank right now, and don't have to worry about this. So we've got some stuff with splash damage, which is pretty good, because it can do damage to obviously everything, which we can do. We can also give extra actions as well to... Is it just 1 unit? Oh, it's just 1 unit, but that's still really useful, because I could just put it on something like, yeah, something like this. Or I could put it on something like this and then bring him up to the front rank, which would be great. So I can kill this. Have I missed lethal? No, I haven't, right? Because he can attack twice. Yeah, no, I'm good. So I could do this. And then he attacks twice. Boom and boom. And then we win the game. Perfect. Just like that, we take him down. Didn't miss lethal. And yeah, you can see the strength of this deck. You know, it's absolutely crazy when it gets going. So yeah, let's jump on to one more match, and I will show you guys maybe a Lagertha deck where it's a lot more aggressive, and we will see what the Vikings are made of. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive in with our Lagertha deck. So Lagertha is extremely aggressive. She basically just throws everything at the opponent and hope it dies before she does. Her special ability is that she goes ahead and gains 1 attack to her card permanently whenever she has an empty hand. Her signature card is that she deals 1 damage, and this has got the raid ability, which is a big thing with the Vikings, is whenever there is a wounded unit on the battlefield, the card costs 1 less. And you'll see that throughout my deck. I have loads of raid cards, so you can basically pump out a lot of really cheap cards by just keeping units wounded on the battlefield. Let's dive in. We'll see who we come up against. Hopefully we don't come up against the other Viking guy. It'd be kind of cool to play maybe a Three Kingdoms faction. Yeah, we do South. So South. So like each something also to mention, which is pretty interesting as well, is that each faction also, or each time period, has a special like feature to them. So for example, like the Vikings are raid, the Three Kingdoms period have mandate, which is I can't even remember what mandate does, but the Napoleonic and Empire thing is planning, which you guys saw apply in the last one. So again, for Lagertha, we're going to want super cheap spells, because we basically want stuff that is really cheap, so that we can get rid of it and we can power up Lagertha. We also have a legendary character in our hand as well, which is kind of cool. And also obviously stuff with raid as well, because we can probably pump that stuff out pretty quickly. And do we want anything else? What else do we want? Probably open plains as well. Yeah, so let's actually get rid of the stray arrow. I want open plains and I want well drilled, because this deck also does really, really well. Yeah, this deck also does really, really well with... Do I want all of this? Yeah, cool, let's do that. This deck also does really well with maneuvering cards. So, yeah, we want to kind of maneuver a lot of stuff as well. So good, we got a turn 1, which is great. So Salsa's going to move up. We'll then probably push up our... Yeah, so nice. We've got a good turn 1 or 2. Yeah, this is pretty good. So cool, let's go ahead and probably just stick down our Wild Axemen on the front lines. super cheap, and we'll push Lagertha up as well. We could obviously have our coin as well. We don't want to use that yet, though. We could have maybe we could have put our Nomad on the front line. That's my plan. So yeah, you can see as well, you know, Cao Cao has a Nomad unit. So just boom, just like that. Because he attacked my Axeman, these cards are now much cheaper than they originally were. So what we can actually do is I can attack. So it's not just my units as well that are wounded. So you'll see me right now. So the raid ability, if I do that, it also makes these units super cheap. So just like that, I've made this card cost nothing. And I gain a supply because of a special ability, which is just crazy, right? Yeah, which is just really, really good. And then we can obviously pop our free and our Nomad, yeah. So you can just see already, like, we've basically already just rinsed our hand, which is amazing. So definitely want to get him down because he's so cheap right now because we have wounded units. I guess we'll get him down and then we will, I guess, throw that into... We want to try and keep wounded units alive because obviously it makes the rest of our hand a lot cheaper. So this is only one cost because I have so many wounded units. Well, I had 2 wounded units, so it went down a bit. I could clear my hand and get Lagertha to start ramping up already, but I don't want to take the damage. No, we'll hold on to it. We'll hold on to this stuff for now. We'll see what the AI does do. So it's going to take out my wounded units, obviously smart. But whenever he just has Cao Cao on the front lines, it's really good. Deal 1 damage. I mean, it's pretty good for me because it allows me to bump my raid ability up. So if I get one of these high cost units, which I don't do, yeah, this is kind of annoying because I want to pop off. I want to start ramping Lagertha up, but I guess we don't need to, right? If we do that, he gains 2/2 because he's got the maneuver ability, and that basically means whenever you move a unit, you gain +1 attack. This one is also pretty good to have on our back lines as well. And I guess we'll just start piling into Cao Cao because Cao Cao starts off with 25 HP. Oh, do we just say screw it though? Yeah, let's do it. Let's go full aggro. This is not the play which I should really be doing, but so we want to do this first because it's just cheaper that way. Yeah. So we'll just start doing lots of damage. This is going to hurt me more than it's going to because I'm going to lose a 3/3. This is like the worst move. I want to show you guys. Lagertha now has an extra 2 HP, which is great. Also, this is really bad because obviously he has like 7 cards in his hand and I have nothing, but that's kind of how you want to play with Lagertha. And he's already down to 12 HP as well, which is good. Considering he starts on 25, that's great. So Daybreak's going to hit now, which is good for us. We can get some more cards up. I probably need more card draw in this hand. Again, you don't really want card draw, right? So now we can start going for the more expensive units. Basically picking up all our good ones. We'll take the legendary one as well into our deck. Getting him up there is probably pretty good. We'll get some more maneuvering stuff, which is great. Yeah, this is also a really good card if we can get it up early. We didn't really get it up early, so we'll just ignore it for now. Yeah, we've got some card draw in that card. Again, we're going to need some AoE clear as well. So something like this will be a good setup, I think. That's not really what we wanted, but we can clear our hand, so I guess it's not the end of the world. So let's just... do we just rush? We're going to be free hate. We'll have free damage because we'll clear both of these this turn. So you want to go hard. I think maybe we just go hard and we bracket him down to his last grasp. But we do with this, exactly. Yeah, and we'll get Cao Cao down. So we got up to free attack because we cleared our hand. Boom. So we're giving Cao Cao the perfect opportunity now to... Because again, he's only got 5 supply next turn. So we're giving him a perfect ability just to run away and kind of buff up his front line. But again, just like that, we are clearing stuff. So it's not the end of the world. If I draw into some good damage, that'd be great. A great Axeman. Well, we can't play him quite yet because he'd be amazing to get. But unfortunately, we can't play him. Do we clear this and take the free damage? I think... Yeah, we just have to keep on clearing for now. So we do that and that. We don't gain our damage because we can't play him. But that's fine. We had no way of playing our great Axeman yet. Wait, he's going to come forward? Oh, he must have something to... I mean, I don't know if the AI is the smartest in the world right now. I don't know if I would have done that. I would have deployed everything to keep him safe because, you know, what I have in my deck is crazy. I think I just win now, right? Yeah, I think I just win because I do... I wound one of these. Yeah, I win. It's lethal right there. Perfect. Boom. We play him. Oh, no, because it costs 3. What am I doing? Oh, I'm an idiot. I'm an absolute idiot. That was really bad of me. We're going to take a lot of damage next turn. Oh, God, why did I do that? I'm so stupid. Yeah, we're going to take a lot of damage. So we'll bring him down to 2. He can't kill us because we'll stop at 6 no matter what. If he puts all of us into me, it still only does 6 damage. And our nice little open planes as well automatically maneuvers a unit, which is quite good. So whenever they play something, it pushes it to a different lane. He's got the flanking ability, though. You saw that kind of on file. But it's good. It's good he's wounded that. It's kind of nice for us as well. Okay, so this unit has Raid as well. Raid and a shield. We need to get to Cao Cao somehow. We can slowly kill him by doing 1 damage at a time. So we can bring him down. Oh, we just kill him now with this, right? Yeah, perfect. Boom. Lethal right there. So, there you go, guys. That is Total War Elysium. Went ahead and saw 2 of the 3 factions that are in the game. There are also 2 extra. There's another hero for each of the factions right now. There's currently 2 for Empire, 2 for the Viking period, and 2 for the Three Kingdoms. I think you have Sun Ren and Cao Cao. You have Lagertha and another Viking dude. I don't know who it is. It's not Ragnar. And you also have Marie Antoinette and Napoleon for the Napoleonic Empire/era. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below about the game so far. I think it's very interesting. It's definitely a cool take on the card games. I think having so many different time periods allows for so many different cards, which I think will make the game very fun. Obviously, in other card games like Hearthstone, you have different classes, and in Magic the Gathering, you have different types of mana. But I think the different time periods is just a really nice, because every deck is going to be very, very different in its style, with each faction having a special ability. I really like that. I don't know how well this is going to do, though, considering how popular and already existing the current behemoths of the trade carding game genre is. I also think the game does feel a bit clunky, but hopefully stuff like that can be fixed and improved on, and it obviously will be looked to be improved upon with more animations, voice lines, heroes, cool stuff like that. I think that's something that they really have to work on going towards further and further towards release. It's just adding in cooler animations, more color, more voice lines, giving each faction more uniqueness in the look of it. When you're playing cards and stuff like that, they need to feel more unique and feel like you're from the Empire era. But overall, this is a very interesting start. Definitely looking forward to seeing where this goes. I will be covering this game because it's just a fun, chill game you can pick up and play every so often. So let me know if you guys want to see more of this. I'm going to record some more footage, so if you want to see some more games against the AI, maybe I can get another YouTuber to play with me or something. That could be a ton of fun. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.